What if I told you the world of Squid Game was real? A real, brutal underworld where desperate people gamble their lives and only the bodies tell the truth. Let's enter the portal.
A secret game, hidden in the shadows, where losing means you vanish forever. No camera crews, no prize money, no one left to tell the story. And the scariest part? Some people believe they're happening right now. When Netflix dropped Squid Game in 2021, it wasn't just a gory game show, it was a mirror of South Korea's crushing debt crisis. In 2021, over 20% of South Korean households carried high-risk debt, families borrowing money just to repay other loans. A dark cycle that traps millions. For the young, it's even worse. Skyrocketing housing costs, job scarcity, and social shame. A generation buried under loans they may never repay. That's why Squid Game struck so deep. It wasn't just survival games, it was real life for those drowning in debt. But long before the show, rumors of real deadly games lurked in the shadows. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, illegal gambling dens spread through Seoul's back alleys, hidden under karaoke bars, inside abandoned basements, behind locked iron doors. Players risked everything for a single shot at freedom. Some walked away rich. Others just disappeared. Hwang Dong-hyuk, the creator, wrote Squid Game at rock bottom. He was so broke he sold his laptop for cash. His script sat ignored for over a decade because producers said it was too grotesque, too unrealistic. But it wasn't fiction to him. It was a scream of desperation. He remembered childhood games like red light, green light, where losing meant a stinging slap. Harmless as kids, but what if the stakes were life and death? Meanwhile, stories of underground debt games lingered in Korean tabloids. Some articles claimed small-time gangsters forced debtors into brutal fights in isolated warehouses. Others spoke of death insurance scams, where loan sharks pressured desperate people to name the gangsters as their life insurance beneficiaries. If they couldn't pay up, a fatal accident might solve the debt. Police occasionally raided these dens, but the rumors said bigger fish were never caught. Here's where the legend spirals into nightmare, whispers of an elite circle. The so-called Hunters Club, a rumor that billionaires and corrupt officials use the dark web to host red rooms, live streams where desperate people compete in unspeakable trials. The prize, life-changing money. The penalty for losing, vanishing. These whispers aren't new. They echo the plot of The Most Dangerous Game, the century-old story about hunting humans for sport. Some say it inspired real hunts in remote forests or on abandoned islands, with participants shipped by boat, stripped of identity, and dumped if they lose. Deep web conspiracy boards claim these hunters clubs are so protected, even Interpol can't track them. They say encrypted crypto trails lead to high-rise penthouses in Seoul, Macau, Dubai. Of course, no one's ever proven it, but no one's disproven it either. Why do people believe? Because real horrors do exist. In 2008, South Korean police busted an illegal fight club in Busan, where migrant workers were forced to fight for cash payouts, while gangsters filmed them for private pay-per-view. Some victims vanished after losing. Their families never found them. In 2019, the United Nations reported that Korea's organ trafficking rings were expanding, preying on the homeless and undocumented. Around Asia, victims have been found missing kidneys, livers, or hearts. Sometimes the bodies wash ashore. Sometimes they're never found. And then there's the dark web. In 2015, Silk Road shut down, but newer, darker markets bloomed overnight. Rumors of Red Room streams surged, disturbing videos claiming to show real abductions, torture, or death games. Most were debunked as fake or shock hoaxes, but some clips had metadata that traced back to ports in Busan and Incheon. To this day, no one knows if they were real or if they're still happening. And what about those inspired by the show? Kids around the world started playing their own version of Squid Game on schoolyards, slapping losers, reenacting red light, green light with bruises instead of bullets. In 2021, South Korean authorities warned about new debt trap games. Scammers posing as Squid Game recruiters, tricking desperate people into online gambling, then blackmailing them with threats of violence. North Korea, too, claimed its citizens were executed for smuggling Squid Game on USB drives. Some say that's just propaganda. Others believe underground copies spread faster than the regime could contain. It begs the question, if people will slap each other for fun, if kids will mimic murder games, if criminals will exploit the desperate for profit, what's to stop someone from taking it even further? Even now, new bodies wash ashore on Korea's east coast. Some missing ID, some missing organs. No families claim them. No one talks. In Seoul's alleys, whispers say the real Squid Game never ended. It just went deeper. Encrypted, hidden, protected by money and power. A game where you'll never find the winners. And the losers? They're buried where no one will look.
Next time, we'll slip even deeper into a world where monsters aren't just human, and the real horror might not be from this world at all. See you on the other side.